The good news is we think we know what's going on. These delusions you've been living with, this fantasy land you've been existing in instead of reality, we know why. Let me just ask you a couple questions. Are you a Democrat?
How'd you know I was a Democrat?
Well, because our test results, they show you're almost completely full of shit. Now, we've been seeing an epidemic of this, just completely full of shit Democrats just running around insisting that their fantasy land is real, and it isn't. Turns out they're just full of shit, and you are too. Now, we can lower your shit levels and introduce some much-needed reality. There's a prescription I could write. You just have to watch a few Tucker Carlson videos, and we'll turn this whole thing around.
Tucker Carlson is a literal Nazi piece of shit. The horse they rode in on.
Okay. That's the shit talking. It's worse than I thought. I'm also going to write you a prescription for some Ben Shapiro videos as well. It's going to be okay. You don't have to live your life being completely full of shit. Now, all you have to do is see Karen up front, settle your bill. We'll get you scheduled for a follow-up. I have other patients I need to see.
Wait. What do you mean, bill? I have Obamacare. My health care's free, Doc.
Do you want to know who else was full of shit? Obama.
Yes. Good evening. Good afternoon, Chris. How are you?
Good, man. What's happening?
I think that's a good way to start the show, right?
That's right.
Good day.
Got our pronouns correct. Good.
Yes, thank you very much, Rick.
Yeah, we're ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it doesn't really start till tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, see, I've even got my rainbow colored background on me, just
Look at you.
and prepared. I'm prepared for it. I'm wearing a pair of tuckables. Got my dick tucked in. I'm ready.
Hey,
I'm ready for June.
See, that's the great part about me. Not to get too personal here, but I don't need tuckables because I'm like permanently tucked. I mean, I'm just a fat guy. So when you like me, I'm like a turtle. You know?
Nice.
Just retreats into the shell. So that's welcome.
And we're off.
And we're off and running. I was just talking to somebody. I feel bad. First of all, we have Giancarlo Floridia coming up today.
Yes.
Songwriter.
Yes, he is.
And I'm kind of interested to see how that goes because I'm interested to see what the behind the scenes of writing songs is all about.
Well, I know he's excited to come on. He left a couple of messages on my Facebook, making sure that he had the time right and the connection right and all that other stuff. So good. I know he's pumped to come on, and I don't know how much he's allowed to share as far as everybody that he's working with.
Yeah.
But let me just say, he's working with just a flood of people that you've heard of. The two obvious people are Michael Sweet of Stryper and George Lynch of Lynch Mob and Dokken, and and he writes for these guys. He writes lyrics and he writes songs, and
I mean, I don't know what all he knows. I mean, I guess he knows about writing songs and what you get, but I mean, I am always curious as to when it comes to these superstars, like a Taylor Swift. I mean, she's probably as smart as a box of rocks, dude. So. Writing songs other than the fact that her boyfriends break up with her or she breaks up with the boyfriends is probably pretty routine. But somebody has to write all the lyrics, and so what does a person like that get paid?
Well, we'll ask him. I mean, I was telling you before. I know a guy that wrote on Christina Aguilera's "Genie in a Bottle" and that stuff, and he made a fortune. Fortune. Now, obviously, that was a 6 or 7 million selling album, but he made a fortune, and that was a big hit. So
behind the scenes, we always talk to the bands, but we don't talk to the people that are writing the songs. Other than, most of the local bands, I'm sure they write most of their own stuff. And but I'm interested to see what an actual songwriter does.
Sure.
So it's been an interesting day today, I guess. I got my grill put together.
Nice.
Finally, I've got a grill, and I'm very excited. It's put together. Problem is, I have no friggin' propane. I literally went to every store in Northeast Ohio last night, and every single one of them is out of propane.
Buy some charcoal.
It's a gas grill.
Stick it in there. What difference does it make?
I can't ignite it. I'm not gonna screw up the grill. I just bought it. I'm gonna do the gas thing, but I gotta wait probably 6 weeks before they get their inventory back up. I should have propane by the time winter hits.
You'll have propane by Friday.
But until then, I'm excited just because now I feel like home guy.
Right.
Because now I sat today in my rocker out on the screened-in patio. I turned on my little Alexa on the table next to me. With
right.
My Diet Coke sitting with me, and I turned on Yacht Rock.
Nice.
On Spotify, and I kicked back. I was staring at the grill as it sat outside, and I felt like home dude.
Right. Just Air Supply playing while you're rocking in the chair. Hell yeah.
It was nice. It was cool.
80 degrees outside, perfect temperature for it.
And there's a fan on the patio, so it really wasn't that hot. It was like nice and cool, and it couldn't have been any better than that. So
very nice.
It was very exciting. Although I hired a guy to come over and put it together because now with the leg, I can't really get down on the ground. I can't do a whole lot of moving around. Sure. I can't do a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And so I hired a guy to come over and do it. And supposedly an expert off of Thumbtack.
Okay.
It's an app. I'll put that comment up in a minute. I want to ask you about that. And so he comes over, a nice guy, and has a great name for his company. I'll give him a plug. Patriot Home Improvement or something. Patriot Improvement, something like that.
Okay.
And so I asked him, I said, how'd you come up with the name? And he said that he used to live in New England area. And he thought there were a lot of Patriots that lived up there, other than the football team.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay. And he's like, I just moved to this area. He's like, there's no Patriots in this country like there are in Ohio. He's like, everywhere I turn, there's an American flag and people that are patriots of this great country in this state right here.
Right.
And I thought that was amazing. That was great.
That's awesome.
The only problem is he had 3 screws left over. So I don't know exactly what those go to. He ran through the book and said, I used all of them that they gave me. Well, okay. So there's 3 extras. Maybe they were
maybe they give extras. Who knows?
Yeah. Just in case you lose one in the grass or something.
Yeah. Could be. You'll find out when you're grilling and the whole thing falls apart.
Check your local U-Haul or campground. They fill them, not exchange. I called a Tractor Supply Plus store last night.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just opened up one not too long ago over here in Broadview Heights. And I asked the lady who answered if they had propane tanks. Now, she sounded on the phone like I was an alien calling and asking for some sort of weird device.
Sure.
She had no idea what a propane tank was. And I wanted to explain to her, you have a tank outside your store that looks like the Goodyear blimp.
Right.
That is designed for propane tanks.
Yeah.
And then she comes back and she says, well, we can give you an empty one for $60.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Or we can fill it for $80.
$80? Really?
Yeah. Now, that's a little pricey for the other. I've seen full ones around town for $55, $60. Giant Eagle, I think it's $69. Wow. But I asked her, I said, well, what exactly do you want me to do with the empty tank?
Yeah.
That I'm going to spend $60 on.
Yeah. Decoration?
Yeah, I guess I could put it near the grill.
Yeah.
So it looks like the grill is functional.
Right.
But still not going to work. But yeah, she had no idea what the hell I was talking about. And then I just started getting pissed. Because the more I went on my search, the more I dealt with people that have no freaking clue what they're doing as far as customer service goes.
Okay. Yeah.
We talked about this earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a Subway, 0 customer service.
Yeah.
So I told her, she actually had meat on the sandwich. I said, I can't deal with you anymore. It's no offense to you. I'm sure you're a very nice person outside of this job. But currently, you don't know what you're doing. And I don't have the patience anymore for people that don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So I said, whatever you have to do with the meat on that sandwich, I'm not looking. So you can scrape it back off the bread and put it back in the tray for all I care. but I'm not going to take the sandwich. I'm not going to pay for the sandwich. Have a great night.
Yeah.
I wasn't mean. I just can't handle the service that's out there anymore.
Sure. I get it.
Growing up, when you pay for a service, you expect a certain amount of politeness. You expect just a smidgen of knowledge of what they're doing. And now it's nothing anymore. Now, maybe because they can't find people to work, so they just hire anybody that walks in.
Yeah. Well, that is what they're doing right now. And they can't fire them, because if they fire them, then they don't have a replacement.
So I just sat there, and I was very polite. I just said, I'm sorry, but I don't have the patience for you tonight. Have a great night.
Yeah.
I walked out. And the same thing happened at another gas station where I went to, try to get propane.
Right.
She wanted to go take a look, but she said she couldn't leave the store until the guys got back from lunch. And I said, well, exactly how long is it going to be before they're back from lunch? Because I don't want to just stand here in the store. Well, I have no idea. Well, what do you mean you have no idea? You knew what time they left for lunch. You probably have an idea of how long a lunch break is at your store that you work at. So now you have a general idea of how long it's going to be before somebody's back so you can go get this propane for me.
Right.
Not a clue.
That's funny.
But I customer service is just out the window anymore.
Yeah, dumb people.
Out here, they fill them up, $20. Exchange only gives you 20 pounds. Exchange only gives you 14 to 16 pounds and possibly more. Valve, please look for a place to fill it up.
All right.
Chris, what happened to your hair?
What do you mean? It's right here.
Yeah. See,
it's got a ponytail. I didn't cut it. I didn't shave it off. It's still there. I just, truth be told, I was working till very close to showtime, and I didn't have time to clean it up. Clean it out and fix it out. I looked all scraggly from working all day, so I just threw a hat on and said, screw it, good enough.
We have Tony Musachio also coming up later in the show today. Looking forward to that. He's always out eating, having a good time.
Yeah, he's out having fun while we're sitting here.
Yes. Doesn't bring us any food.
No, of course not.
Praying that his internet's working.
Yeah. Well, we always have that Russian roulette game to play with Tony, don't we? Will Tony's internet work?
But, at least we get something out of it at some point. So I'm looking forward to talking to Tony.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I had some people texting me today about the radio station that I used to work on and how bad things are over there. And I just want to put out to poor Bloom Daddy. I actually feel bad for him. From what I'm hearing, I think that I could be. They just fired the wrong guy, is what it comes down to. And I'm not trying to be a dick or anything like that, but they fired the wrong guy. And I wish I could go over there and just help him make his show what it actually could be. So I apologize.
Yeah, but you're old guard. You're not allowed.
I know. I'm probably hated over there and everything else. But
picture of you by the door. Don't let him in.
Look up air gas. They do fills. I don't have a tank, though. I don't have anything. I don't have something to refill. That's the problem. So I need to get
your grill didn't come with a tank?
No.
Oh.
Do they usually come with tanks? I don't know.
Mine did. Mine came with a tank. Mine came with a filled tank.
No, it didn't come with a tank or anything like that. They came with 3 extra screws. That's what I know.
Oh, there you go. Maybe you could trade those for a tank.
I have no idea how to use this thing either. I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, so where's the ignition? Because there's no. I thought most grills that I've seen, there's like an ignition button.
Yeah.
And there's no ignition button on this thing. And so I said, well, where is it?
You just turn the gas on and it works?
And he goes, well, that's a good question. I was going to ask you. I said, well, you're the guy that I hired.
Yeah, you're the
grill
guy.
Come over here and put this together. So, I mean, we can look at the directions together, I guess, but I'm asking you, how do you ignite this thing? And he goes, well, I think you do this. And it seemed to be how you ignite it. So I think it's gonna work.
You eventually. Hope.
Either that or it's going to be a very expensive pile of rubble.
That's right. But it'll look nice in the front, right?
Yeah, I'm sure the front of the house will be okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Man. So, anyways, some of the stories I want to get into tonight. We talked about one of them earlier on. Cleveland,
Yes.
is ranked according to the big cities in the country. 182nd.
Out of what, like 700?
No, out of 182. In the best places to raise a family.
So it's absolutely the worst.
It is supposedly the worst.
There's no city in the country worse than Cleveland to raise a family.
Big city in the country worse than Cleveland. Now, I have, some dispute over some of the other cities that are on this list.
Sure.
Because they have like Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Ranked like 14th or something like that as far as one of the best cities to live in.
That's Chaz country.
Chaz country, where they decided to make their own government and completely go off the rails. So yeah, I dispute that, and they have homeless camps literally everywhere.
Sure.
I mean, you can't, and I think they have just like San Francisco is high on their list. They have open air drug areas that you could just go legally shoot up and fall over on the ground and crap yourself. And
well, they got people just shitting in the street without even worrying about it, not even having any concern.
San Francisco at one point put out a tourist guide, a map of places where people were allowed to go to the bathroom on the streets.
Jeez.
So you could either, I guess, go watch or avoid those areas. But those are listed in some of the better areas to live. So that really says something about Cleveland.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a mess there. I mean, that is absolutely a mess. That it's that list can't be. I mean, yeah, and you know how it goes with some of these lists, dude. They put them together solely to get people to react, and that's probably what they're doing here. Because you could tell me a million times that Cleveland's the worst place, and believe me, I'm certainly not advocating to go downtown and have a baby. That's insanity all by itself. Cleveland, that does suck. I wouldn't raise a family downtown. That being said, I have a Twitter account, and Lord knows every day I see nothing but people getting brutalized on the New York City subways and in the New York City streets, and there's no way you're going to tell me New York City is safer and a better place to raise a family than downtown Cleveland. No way. Just no chance.
Well, we can get into a little bit of that more after our guest. I want to take a quick break, if that's all right, and then we'll get to Giancarlo.
Yes.
And we'll talk a little bit about songwriting.
Okay.
2 minutes, so hang on.
That sounds good.
There's no place like home, and whether it's furniture, artwork, home accessories, appliances, or that one-of-a-kind collectible, Yellow Brick Road Online Auctions allows you to find everything you need from the comfort of your own home. The owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions has been conducting online estate auctions for over 8 years by providing homeowners with a stress-free process to liquidate all items that have accumulated over the years.
I'm Melissa Mendici, owner of Yellow Brick Road Auctions. Log on today to find your heart's desire.
Hey, it's Seth from Mario's Barbershop in Parma, 7526 Broadview Road in the Pleasant Valley Shopping Center right next to Big Lots. You got to check out Mario, man. Great guy, does a lot for charities, but can perform miracles with hair. He even made me look clean cut. Does my hair, does a great job. Love talking to the guy while I'm sitting there. It's a great place to go, local business. You gotta go to Mario's Barbershop in Parma. Mario's Barbershop in Parma, 7526 Broadview Road. Again, in Parma, Pleasant Valley Shopping Center, right next to Big Lots. Or give them a call, 216-520-1977. That's 216-520-1977. Mario's Barbershop in Parma.
Trust Joe's Lakewood Computer at 14035 Madison in Lakewood. They have over 30 years of professional service handling laptop and desktop repair services, virus removal, and data migration, and much more. You can trust them with hardware updates to your computer's memory and hard drive. Call 216-651-3880. Whether you need a simple Windows install or you're interested in the latest computers for gaming, call Joe's Lakewood Computer at 216-651-3880.
This is Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cleveland Cavaliers, for attorney Will Spiegelberg. Will Spiegelberg is not only a name you know, he's someone you can trust as your attorney, no matter the circumstance. Will Spiegelberg is an attorney you can always count on. Will Spiegelberg is the attorney you should contact for all your legal work. When you need an attorney, call Will Spiegelberg at 216-233-4240. Attorney Will Spiegelberg, a great teammate. 216-233-4240.
Right back here, the Seth Williams Show, Chris Akin, and joined right now by our guest, Giancarlo Floridia. Is that correct, sir?
Hey, I just got out of the shower, so my mohawk is like really wet. So if I look like a wet Italian dog, it is what it is. And I'm talking to George Lynch at the same time because we're building some customs for me. So
Very nice.
See, that's pretty badass right there, man.
let me see. I'll show you guys. We're going over necks. So if George calls, we might have to hear some of the bodies. So if George calls, we'll get him on here.
Yeah, there we go.
That's pretty awesome.
Very
Well,
good.
guys
Welcome,
doing?
man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been wanting to do an interview with Chris.
Yes, I know you have.
We had a little, not an issue, just, I wanted
A disagreement.
it was a disagreement. He didn't like me, and now he likes me.
I never said. Now wait a minute, dude.
You guys had a little bit of an issue, and now
Let's
you guys
go.
got to explain.
It wasn't that. It's just, I think he heard my band Face Edge for the first time. I was like, what is this? It was like a cross between prog, hair metal, me singing like, super high and, and there was, it's all good.
It was look, and I will
It's
say
all
this.
right.
No. But I'll man up and answer to it. On the CMS, I am definitely very vocal, and
Yeah,
I
you
am
are.
very first take. Whatever I hear, boom, that's what comes out of my mouth. And that's what I heard that night. I'm not going to say I wasn't drinking. I probably was.
Okay.
But that being said, I'm not going to pull it back either because I really haven't like gone back to hear what I said. But I remember, and whatever. The bottom line is I give you credit for not just saying, fuck that guy. I never want to deal with him again.
No. We're all entitled to our opinion. I think some of the stuff I even do on albums, I'll be like, this is great. Other ones like, I would have done differently. So I'm glad, to be able to work with you and do some interviews with you.
Absolutely.
And, hang on, George. Write the shit. Here's for which one don't you? All right, you guys are gonna help me pick out the neck.
All right, let's do that.
Neck with bird's eye roasted maple. Okay, so we got. I don't know if you can see this. Oh God, look at all these guitar necks.
Oh, yeah, we'll put you full screen. There you go. There you are.
Oh. All right, George is probably like, what is going on if he logs on? So we're gonna pick the necks. Here's what I'm gonna do. Hey, bro, I'm doing an online interview. Can I hit you up in what, like an hour or something?
Yeah.
Hour. Watch, I'm going to take a picture for him. Wait, can you put?
Yeah, there. Oh, wrong one.
So I'm gonna
there we
send
go.
George, we'll say hi, George. Watch.
All right, here we go.
Watch this. Bro, I'm literally online. We love you, George. We'd have sent him this.
Nice.
And then put a smile face. I'm so sorry. Like literally,
Oh,
him and
it's
I
all
No,
good.
dude, I think it's cool.
been on tour and all that.
Right on.
And he was building me. We're doing 4 models specific for me. What happened was I do music video production also for Frontiers Records.
Sure.
The video Crack the Sky for the End Machine. I was the production assistant. I'm in the video. I'm the dead guy on the ground. I pull out my hair now. And I'm the cult member at the end that gets Jesse Snyder.
Oh,
Snyder's
nice.
son in the, you can see my tattoo.
Right.
In the video. So during the set, he was showing me this guitar. So I'm like, dude, what is this? He's like, I made these. I'm like, no way. So I'm going to be working with him, playing they're called Mr. Scary guitars.
Yeah, from the dojo.
Yes, and they're phenomenal. Like in the Leaving It All Behind video, he did the Eddie Van Halen blend, and I fell in love with the Crack the Sky guitar. So we're doing something kind of similar.
Okay.
And then we're doing some other models for me, and I'm proud to be playing guitars made by my favorite guitar player of all time.
There you go.
Loved it. Great guy.
I just want to say I'm a huge Faith's Edge fan. I love every song that you have out. And, yeah, so I think it's just awesome. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
I just think here's what I think it is, honestly. Sometimes when you hear a new artist, your ear is not used to it. Like, the first time you drink green tea and your body's like, what is this? I think there's a tendency, George, pick between these ones. It's just like pick one. Roasted or non-roasted? Roasted. I like roasted. Sorry, guys. I think maybe sometimes you're like, whoa, what is this? This is different or whatever. I obviously don't suck that bad because I'm working with.
Yeah, there you go.
My voice has its own sound. I mean, the thing I do like about it is it's me. I'm not trying to rip anybody off. I just have my own sound. And some people like it. I read a review the other day on Sweet and Lynch where they just wouldn't even review the album because they hate Michael's voice. They hate Michael's voice. And I'm like, what? How can you hate Michael's voice? He's like my favorite singer. Some people hate him. Some people hate Mark Slaughter. Some people, so some people can hate me. If everybody loves me, I got a problem. Then I know you guys are bullshitting.
See, I'll tell you this. One time I interviewed Geddy Lee from Rush, and
that's a great example.
I told him, I was like, dude, man, did anybody ever say you sound like a chick? And he got really pissed. And rightfully so. But now as time gone on, I have appreciated his voice a little bit better. I think sometimes you hear stuff and it just is that way, man. It's an acquired taste at times. And sometimes you grow into it.
I'm not a Rush fan. I don't like his voice. That's me. Or there's a lot of newer guys, I won't say their name, that are, because some of them are on the label I write songs for. But I'm not a fan. To me, it sounds like we already had Ronnie James Dio. We already had David Coverdale. And there's a pattern of new guys like me that are a little bit younger that are coming in that sound just like, it's like, dude, it's already been done. Like people love them. They're like, oh, this guy's, and I'm like, dude, I'll just go listen to Dio. I'm being a jerk. See, Chris got me going.
See, there we go. That's not my fault.
I won't say anything bad, but we're all entitled to our opinion. And what it comes down to is how hard are you willing to fight, no matter if people love you or hate you, to play your music and get the balls to get out there and do it, no matter what anybody says about it.
Right. And we won't tell Ronnie Romero or Dino Jalusic what you just said. We won't say that. No way.
Oh, anybody listening? I didn't. Wow. I didn't say that. You said it. Wow, look, you got a good ear.
Well, Ronnie's.
I said that. Not that I agreed. Holy shit!
While you work with Frontiers, I am directly tied. I've had quite a few meetings with Serafino's team, and I have a business with Johnny Gioeli. So I'm well aware of Frontiers. That's why that was an easy pull.
I didn't say Chris said it.
So. I said it. That's fine. Look, I love both. I love both guys.
I'm working with somebody right now that's one of the new guys. I can't announce who it is yet.
Okay.
Frontiers, I have a thing to not say certain things until
sure.
Mention. He is phenomenal. He's one of the new guys. We're working on a brand new album for next year.
Okay.
He's the top. He's my number one pick of the new guys. He's really good. He's got more. I'm not going to say what he's got going because Chris is going to.
I'll know.
We're going to be like, it's this guy. I'll be like. So, anyways, he's my favorite of the new guys.
Very good, man. Well, dude, let's dig into this, man, because this is both Seth and I. We were talking off the air about how you get into this game, the writing game specifically. And I'll tell you honestly, I have told artists that I know in the past that have had problems on the road, and I'll name them. Janie Lane and Donnie V. Two guys
for sure.
Two guys that intensely talented songwriters, like way more gifted than 99.99 of the people that have written 100 million selling records. But for whatever reason, they, when I would say and I there's 2 interviews with me and Janie on YouTube. You can look them up. Both times I said to Janie, why don't you come off the road and just write for people? You'll make a fortune with, the crazy lyrics that you write. Both times, same answer. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get into that game. So I'm going to ask you, how do people get into the game?
Bro, it's amazing. No matter what I do, Janie Lane follows me. Now, my story with Janie is I met him when I was 18 years old. He would play local clubs. It was in like 1998. I was just some kid.
Sure.
And he kind of would call me on the phone and say, hey, bro, keep it going. Like, this was when like the hair bands didn't quite come back. It's like right when Poison was getting together.
Right.
So Janie become very close friends.
Okay.
I'd go see his shows. My friends would go see him. He'd let him in. And he became like a little bit of my mentor. He never said, come party with me. I knew there was problems. And I just figured he'd be like Keith Richards and grow old. And I was a kid. But he never once said to me, hey, do this, do that. Let's get fucked up. So years later, actually Janie Lane kind of opened up the doors, my story.
Okay.
What happened was I had Face Edge. I was doing the 5th album because I had a deal in Japan with Spiritual Beast through Universal, and then Scarlet, which is kind of Frontiers' competition,
Sure.
Through E1. And we did well. I had Tim Gaines from Stryper on bass, Matt Starr from Ace Frehley's band drums, and Alex DeRosso from Dokken on lead guitar. And we were doing well, getting some good press, except for your website. And basically, I was going to do a 5th Face Edge. I already had a deal. And I was talking to Del Vecchio because he produced the 3rd one.
Okay.
And talked about maybe moving over to Frontiers if possible. And he said, look, man, you are such a strong songwriter. Why don't you come write with us?
Wow.
Okay. And I said, a lot of people tell me I should do writing also on the side. So I put together 2 songs. The first one came to me, strange enough, Janie Lane. I became Janie Lane's, when he passed away, there was an album called Liberty and Justice.
Right.
I sang on the final song before he passed away. It's called Broken Bones.
Okay.
Strange enough, Justin, who did Liberty and Justice, passed away too. We were just finishing up an album, him and I. So Janie was the last song. He passed away, and Justin put on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for somebody to help me with the cover. So I actually was responsible for that last song Janie did called Sin, with the roses coming out with the blood. I did that cover at my college that I had a job for. I had the day off. So Janie was right with me the following day he passed away. Wow. I had thought about reaching out to him because I saw him in some of the press, but I had other things going on in my life. And so anyway, so I did that final cover. So Janie, like following day, was involved with me right away. Then I became friends with his wife, Kimberly Nash Lane. Yeah. Her and I had many conversations. It was very hard on her. She told me the full story of what happened that evening. I'm getting emotional. And she carried a lot of guilt. She felt that she could have maybe saved him. And she carried that with her. So fast forward, maybe a year and a half later I'm starting to work on the stuff for Frontiers, and I go online and read an article. It could have been like Metal Sledge. I'm not on there often, but somebody posted she passed away. I was floored. I was like, what? And she had kind of disappeared a little bit. We were wondering what was going on with her. I was devastated. So I picked up my guitar and I wrote it's all down tuned. Anyways, da-na, and I wrote a song within 24 hours called The Pain of Goodbye, which is on Clean Break's debut album with James Durbin, Robert Sweet, Perry Richardson, Mike Flint. Alessandro's like, oh my God. I wrote all the lyrics, and the song, if you listen to it, if you haven't heard it, it's amazing. It should have been the second single. Why it wasn't, I don't know. It's about their story. It's about me meeting them, Janie finding her, and then they're both gone, and now me dealing with them not being here because I would consider them family. So that song, so Janie is kind of responsible for me getting on Frontiers. Then I wrote a second song. I didn't know it was for Clean Break. I just sent the song to Alessandro. And he was blown away by it. So I wrote a second song, and they did tell me James Durbin was going to be on it in between working on the two songs. I went into the studio. I was working with somebody, and he would produce some of the demos for me. And I said, I want to write a song in the nature of In God We Trust by Stryper. That beat that Robert Sweet had was one of my favorites as a kid. So I did a song called No Other Heart that was based around the drum beat, not knowing Robert Sweet was going to be the drummer.
Nice.
That's scary. So then they told me, they said, hey, guess who's playing on the album? Robert Sweet. I'm like, whoa. I worked on the Clean Break videos. I'm in the video with them on the plane playing cards for coming home.
Sure.
And that's my daughter, Faith, who's in a bunch of Frontiers videos, as a stewardess. So imagine the craziness of hearing Robert Sweet, out of all the drummers in the world, is going to be playing on your song that you wrote, not knowing he was going to be on it. So Janie kind of set what's going to happen next, which is I met Michael Sweet because we were having, can I keep talking or you want me to shut up?
Go. Keep going.
So what happened was Clean Break was not released yet. We were working on videos and we were working on iconic music videos. So my music video work is also a chance for me to network. So Michael Sweet was going to be my responsibility. Enzo at the label, he works through the label and does our videos, said, you are going to get Michael Sweet and Elisa. He's very Italian. Sorry, Enzo. So I had to clear it up with Michael because me and Tim Gaines did an interview that kind of blew up the Stryper thing and the fighting. So I'm like, let's fix this. So the first thing I do is I pick up Michael and Lisa. I apologize. I said, look, Mike, I did the interview with KNAC, which was my interview. And then Tim announces departure from Stryper in that interview. And Michael and I hit it off. He's like, no problem. He gave me a hug in LAX. Lisa was there. We became almost like best friends immediately. And then we get in the car, and the first thing he says is, I'm hearing about this Clean Break album. Robert's raving about it. I want to hear it. And I'm thinking, here's my favorite singer. He wants to hear the song. I had my 2 songs done.
Sure.
And I'm like, no. I'm not going to show you. He's like, come on. And Lisa Sweet's going, come on, Gian, come on. So I showed them The Pain of Goodbye and No Other Heart, finished. He was just like, oh my God, we have to work. So Clean Break, those 2 songs got me the deal with Sweet and Lynch, which developed into, since I did good on Sweet and Lynch, I just wrote the new Lynch Mob album. And then Michael's already talked about it. So I guess we can discuss. I can't go over the crazy details, but his new album that's coming out this year, which is a retro flashback era. He's been talking about it a little bit. So I co-write those entire records. So those 2 songs led to then Alessandro saying, look, let's work together more. So it's developing into me working with Alessandro. He's got a more European style, even though I'm European blooded. I grew up here in America. My dad came from Italy.
Sure.
So this voice, hey dude, what's up? It's from living in Southern California. So
you know what though? I think it's a great idea for Frontiers or Serafino or whoever's making the final call. You know, it's a great idea to have somebody else because let's be honest, Alessandro is way overexposed. I mean, he's every and I'm going to tell you up front, I love Alessandro. I'm a big fan of him, but a lot of the stuff sounds like Alessandro. And I get every press release, and every press release has his name on it, either playing keys, playing bass, writing songs, doing production. Like, his stamp is so all over pretty much everything that comes out that it is good to have now another tone, another sound added to diversify the mix a little bit. No?
Where's his planet? What planet is Chris from?
I was going to ask, man. He's going at you.
I'm not.
Look, I'll respect to Alessandro because he's getting me in. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Ale is a producer. I'm a writer. Like, I suck at producing. I do think having me in the fold with him, like, there's this thing we're doing right now that's amazing. I'm doing it together with him.
Okay.
Big band from back in the day. And Alessandro finally said to me, sent me a thing and said, look, I can use you on this and that and this and that. Because he is Italian, but I grew up here. So maybe I grew up in LA during the MTV era. So I have that more like, and I worked with the Dawkins and the Stripers, and I work with Juan Crocier from Rat.
Okay.
So I have that LA edge to what I'm doing, which I think would be great for Frontiers of Sound. As you notice on Sweet and Lynch reviews, there hasn't been a lot of talk of this sounds like the stuff you guys have done before. We really crossed into some boundaries on the record that is not typical Frontiers. So bringing me into the fold without going too crazy, I think is a good idea too, and being a partnership and getting along with everybody and showing respect. But the thing about similarities is, for example, Sweet and Lynch, I had to put out conceptually in my mind a half Dawkins, half Striper, half Lynch Mob, half Michael Sweet solo album and make them both happy. I achieved it, but it took work. Or Lynch Mob. When I did Lynch Mob, my goal was to get the album as good as the first two albums. I listened to the other two. What did the fans want? Hooks, that classic Lynch Mob sound. And I wrote it. George sent me the album. I wrote it in 2.5 weeks. And I got it pretty close. I think it's the best album they've done since the 92 release with Robert Mason. I think it surpasses all the other ones they've done since.
Okay.
Got a lot of hooks. They're playing a song I did with them called The Sinner live, which is more of a gospel song. But, it was all done. And I hit up George and I said, look, I know you're an atheist. I know you are. But, bro, this song is called The Sinner. I just kept hearing, there's no mercy on my soul because I'm a sinner. I kept hearing in my head. And I said, look, can I write this song called The Sinner? He's like, it sounds interesting. You should do it. And then I wrote it. Then Gabriel relearned it. They fixed one of the bridges. And then I see them playing on live on Blabbermouth before the album's out. So I love George. He's the boss. But I have respect. And the respect is to get the artist at their peak and bring them into today also. Like, write lyrics that are from my heart, like After All Is Said and Done, or Leaving It All Behind by Sweet and Lynch. That was about me being in a cafe one day and just so much pressure on me, and it finally just came off. Or Miracles about Michael, Sweet, and Lisa from a third person like perspective, and Michael losing his first wife and then meeting her. So it's a lot of work, but I try to keep it in the direction what the fans want. Like Face Edge has its own style, but I want to do my blend with what they already are, not kind of the same thing over and over. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So, here comes another Giancarlo album. Oh God. I want it to be more like, hey, you like Desmond Child when he writes with people, it's like, oh, this is going to be good. So hoping whenever you see my name on a record, you'll be like, oh, Gian's involved. This is going to be great. And I'm not taking on too many of the albums. Like, I think we're releasing Sweet and Lynch, Lynch Mob, Michael's Thing, another one. So I got 6 or 7 coming up, but that will be in a year's time.
Okay.
So I take time on each one.
All right. So I'm kind of stupid when it comes to this kind of thing. So I'm kind of curious of the inner workings of it. Do you sit down? Do you write the music and the lyrics and then sell the song to the band? How do you get paid for it? I mean, what happens with that?
Okay. So what happens there? For example, Clean Break in the can. Guitars, sang it, boom, sent it to Ollie. He made some tweaks to it. Bam, the Pain of Goodbye's done. No Other Heart's done. And then Robert and them learn it. And, Ollie will make some tweaks like, this should be 2 choruses. Or my voice, like No Other Heart is like, you're the only one. And his voice is like, you're the only one. So to get it right for the artist, me and Ollie kind of compress it. So anyways, that is from the ground up. So I'll get a higher cut in publishing. I work out publishing deals with the artist. Now, Sweet and Lynch is different. I was asked to come in. So I work out a deal with Michael, George, Ale as co-writers, and we do contracts. So, for example, Sweet and Lynch, Michael needed me more for conceptual songwriting, meaning the lyrics. They didn't know what they were going to do with Heart and Sacrifice because George wanted to do the atheist concept versus the Christianity, and Michael was not going to do it.
Right.
So I was brought in to kind of balance the darkness and light. And I told George that today. I said, you know, I heard your interview with Eddie Trunk where you discuss, and it's very provoking what George wants to do. So I kind of took George's concept out of respect for him and out of respect for Michael and balanced it. So you have darkness and light and kind of not going too far, you know. So that's one thing. So Lynch Mob was like, the album is done. Here's all the guitars. Paint a picture over it. And then I painted The Sinner or other songs that they're going to be doing. So I can do whatever you want. If you want me to take a song from the ground up, I can write the whole thing. Or if you want to bring me in for lyrics or to help you piece together your parts, if you want me to sing on it and your singer redo it. So I can play anything. I can play bass, guitar, drums, acoustic, 12-string, write stuff, write full records. So there's a lot of intense nature that I can do for your artist. Or if you just want to bring me in to sit back and yell at you, I can do that.
Nice.
Because
the 80s, this is, you know.
I always think about somebody like Taylor Swift, who's like can't be as smart as a box of rocks, and so somebody's going to be writing all that stuff that she's singing about. And how much does that guy get paid to sit there when she's the one on stage, and there's somebody else that's writing all the stuff she's singing? And so, do most bands do that, or how does that work? Is it like more of the local stuff they write their own shit, or is it more of the national stuff? I don't understand how do you get into the writing game like that.
Okay, well, for me, it's better than doing Face Edge because Face Edge, I'm not such an egomaniac where I think I'm a god, okay? So Face Edge was doing fairly well. We were getting a lot of press, mostly from who I was playing with. Like I had the Striper guy and the Ace Frehley guy, and let's check out this band. And that was kind of the attention we got. But Michael Sweet, George Lynch, you know, these guys all have a built-in fan base for how many years since I was a little boy? So it was smarter for me to go with them. Like Clean Break cracked the Billboard top 10 twice. Sweet and Lynch is about to. I saw on Amazon when it came out of how many millions of CDs, we're at number 35. Right. So I'm honest with myself. These albums are going to sell well and much better than what I was doing as a new artist. So I made the decision for now, let's see what happens in the future, to continue to do this because there's already a built-in audience. And when I work out a percentage with whoever it may be, it's better for my life. But if I see a lot of people kind of scouting for writers, and I think they kind of go, hey, like one of the people I'm working with right now reached out to me. Hey, I heard what you're doing with such and such, and I want to work with you. And I'm like, wow, this is great. Or I get a lot, like, it's really nice. Sometimes I have to say no. I've had to turn down a few things because they have an idea, but they're not signed. So at this point, I've built up a good enough reputation to where I can work with only signed artists. I'll help some people, but if I help you, it's because we're friends or I want to see you, you know, really.
Do you own the song once you write it?
Yes. I'll own. So Sweet and Lynch, I won't get over all the details, but I can play those live or whatever I want. I co-wrote them. Like if you look on iTunes, ask my name with theirs. So we work out percentages, and Michael and George are very fair to me and treat me like an equal, and we're in, you know. Nice. And most people, I'm pretty open about how I work. Like, here's how we're going to do it. If not, I can't be involved, you know.
For you, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you write to the project, not just having. Like, I know I've interviewed Alessandro a couple of times, and Alessandro has told me he only writes to the project, which I was stunned by, because a guy that has 800 published songs, I would think he would be a song mill, you know, that has hundreds of things written, and when he gets asked to work with somebody, he could go back through and say, well, here's one I didn't use that would fit. Is right. That which side of that are you? Are you strictly for the artist, or do you have other songs that you're just waiting for somebody to pitch it to say, yeah, this could work with you?
It's a good question. Matter of fact, I just wrote a song that I was going to give to somebody else. I had a concept in my mind of this song, and I started it, and I ended up using something with Ollie, and I had to tell the other guy, I'm got to use it. It's coming out next year on Frontiers. This is a great concept. So I usually start fresh. I believe in terms of songwriting, like a lot of people ask me, what if somebody tries to steal your stuff? I'm like, well, dude, I'll just write a better song. I don't believe in keeping, I subconsciously keep ideas, and that's as far. Like, I got some other songs, but I like starting it fresh. I like getting excited about the project. I like sitting down and say, what do you guys want to do? And then we try to make it the best that they've done, or at least get it to, because I work with a lot of classic artists, to where it needs to be. I don't want the fans to be disappointed. So I don't have a bunch of backup songs. I like starting it fresh. Okay. Like, I don't have like a catalog of back songs where Ollie might have that, because Ollie, it's different. He works for the label. I'm kind of the new guy coming in and helping out, so I'm more like, all right, let's work together. Or I'll tell them, hey, if they want to work with me, I can sit down with them. And I'm here in LA. I can just drive to somebody if they want to work with me.
Sure.
There's a lot of names I can't mention right now that I'm working with that I would love to, but
well, next time you're on,
those you guys will be hearing in the next by Christmas.
Very good. Well, let me ask you this, man, and just because I don't think you answered it when we started this. So obviously, Alessandro wanted to work with you, but
and vice versa.
Correct. But in the biggest picture, you still got to convince Serafino over at Frontiers. And what I don't understand is how does a guy that doesn't have Home Sweet Home, or Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, or pick Fly to the Angels, doesn't have a signature song that millions of people know, convince a label head that you can write for his artists?
Wow.
Or is it just he liked something he heard of you?
I just built a reputation with Faith Edge to be a strong songwriter. Okay. And then when like the Ultimate Warrior, the challenge, the challenge came the way of the warrior. When the challenge came to me, I said to myself, if I want to become one of the best in the world, you better start writing like the best in the world. So when something's presented to me, I'm going to make it competitive with your Kip Wingers, with your Desmond Childs, with your Diane Warrens, with Michael Sweet and George Lynch, to the level I know it in my soul when it's like off, like, oh, don't even submit this.
Right.
Sometimes I'm wrong about that. I wrote something on Michael's album that he's raving about that. I was like, really? So I can kind of feel it when the song is where it needs to be. But if you're a new guy, here's what I would recommend. Because a lot of people do ask me that question. Be honest with yourself. Is this as good as your heroes? For example, there's a song on Sweet and Lynch called After All Is Said and Done. We needed a ballad for the record. And Michael's like, George has got this blues ballad. And I didn't step back and go, okay, I'm going to just write this ballad and hair metal. I actually went the extra mile. I said, I don't want to sing about my relationship with my father. But I remember Queensryche had a song called Bridge when I heard it the first time. So I said, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper than maybe just retro 80s flashbacks. And that song came out amazing. It's the bonus track. Also, they have a separate version for Japan. But I said to myself, you got to do something that's going to make you stand out a little bit more and go a little bit deeper, because I love the 80s. It's my favorite era as a kid.
Sure.
There's a lot of shit from it where it's just like, those lyrics are fucking stupid. So I try to step it up a bit. Even like the new Winger album, he wrote some songs like, whoa, he's digging hard, And remember when grunge came in and like those bands Warrant put out Dog Eat Dog, Winger put out Pull, etc. And they were actually stepping up their game when the Cinderella Did Still Climbing. Those albums are very strong. Mm-hmm. They kind of got a kick in the ass and said, we need to pull our shit together. I kind of that same way. Like, I really need to pull it together. I'm in my early 40s, so I have a lot of gas left in the tank. I'm younger than most of the guys I work with, which is great for the future. But I have to step it up like those bands had to do. And I think with my songwriting, when you're writing as a writer, look at your favorite artist, try to get it to the same level as them. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. So you can reach out to me and we'll do it. $29.95. No, I recommend you literally dig inside your chest, take everything out, and just put it out there, and be prepared to be judged and talk crap online.
So what do you do though? I mean, how do you write a song? Do you just sit in your living room and close the door? Do you turn off the lights and just sit there and think? How do you come up with something? I mean,
bro,
I know I can sit here. It takes me 10 minutes to figure out a question I'm going to fucking ask you, much less writing a song. So that's got to be amazing.
I hate to say it, I went through a lot growing up as a child, very dark times. So it kind of benefits me now. I have a lot of things going on, lyrically. I've been on my own for a while. I had a lot of things that happened to me in the music business where I quit the business when I was 20 and came back. So there's a lot of great concepts. Honestly, I wrote the last song on Sweet and Lynch. It's called World Full of Lies. I got out of the shower. It wouldn't stop bugging me, and I wrote in my bath towel. I don't know. It literally, I was like, I won't break. I won't bleed. I'm in my towel. So certain ones, I'll write it. I'll remember. Like I remember the cafe where I did Leaving It All Behind. I remember when I wrote the Miracle that day. Michael threw me the idea. Hey, I got this thing called Miracle. I usually go to my hometown where I grew up, which is Torrance. It reminds me of the MTV era. There's a restaurant there that they let me go sit in the back. And they're like, oh, it's Gian again. And I'm like, if I crack Billboard, I'll get you an award. So I go out and do it. Lynch Mob, there's a restaurant in Torrance that I drove to at 3 or 4 in the morning. Sometimes I would wake up and just gun it. And they're open 24 hours. And I would go in there with my headphones and just start writing. But conceptually, my dad was always a very creative person. He does art and T-shirts and all these things. I think it's genetic. I think a lot of this is genetic, like the vocals and ideas and thoughts and visuals. Like when I wrote LA Guns, all those 3 videos, I wrote that. The last video, Diamonds, my daughter. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that's my daughter. And that story's about me.
I thought it was Tracy Guns' daughter.
No, that's my daughter, Faith. She's also in Get Along with Jesse Snyder playing her dad.
Okay.
Also in Shattered Glass. So I wrote those stories. If you notice, she's going around writing ideas. That story is actually about me writing songs for Frontiers. And Get Along, same thing. I wrote the whole story, and they loved it. And they used she's like the LA Guns girl. Yeah, that's my daughter, Faith. And she's in Black Swan, Generation Mind.
Right.
And, she's in Clean Break and some other stuff. She's getting a lot of gigs.
Right. Well, that's great, man. Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what I think anyway for writing. And I have the same thing as you do, but I don't write songs. I write books. I got books. Yes. I got books upon books, and I've written 6 books in the last 10 years. I write. I write a lot of books. I think what it is if you are good at communicating and you're not intimidated by the medium that you do it in. Like I tell pretty good stories, so I can do this. I can tell them in a book. I've got a couple songs that I've written and sang, and I need to send them to you just so you can criticize my horrible voice. But
oh, I will.
I will send them to you. They're on YouTube, but I will send them to you. But I do think that is a big part of the gift, is that if you're good at communicating, then you can do it in any medium. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you have 6 books. You're kind of putting yourself on the line out there. Mm-hmm. I think that's what really separates, whether that's in songwriting or a book. Honestly, I'll tell you guys the truth. I think Face Edge wasn't breaking through because of some of the outlook of myself. It was doing good, but mentally I was like being safe. I made a decision about 2.5 years ago. I actually saw a therapist. I'm like, I need to talk to somebody about this because I'm having success. What is wrong? And being positive and believing in yourself is huge. Once I kind of took down the walls from the past and ways I grew up that I won't get into, I was able to succeed more. But that takes putting yourself out there more. Mm-hmm. I think, we're talking about Janie. And I remember when Janie was alive, I would read articles, including from his band members or ex-wives or whatever, talking shit on him, calling him bug eyes or, websites making fun of him. That hurt him, man.
Mm-hmm.
They all love him, and we love you, Janie, and what a great songwriter. You do take a beating as a lead singer. You have to be open to it. And I think a lot of people are afraid to step over, I understand it. It's hard. Do you think I like going online and reading an article where they hate me and I'm busting my ass? It hurts, but you have to take the good from it. I have people that email me, hey, you helped me with my cancer because I would listen to Face Edge.
Sure.
Or among other things I've gotten. So it's hard, man, to put yourself out there. And I made a decision 2 years ago that this is what I have to do. Sweet and Lynch, track 2, where I have to go and what I have to do. That's what it's about. And there won't be any stopping me anytime soon, but I had to make a commitment that I'm going to go through it no matter what anybody says, hates me, wants me dead. I'm going to do this to help others. And I think once you make a decision mentally that you're going to connect with helping others, it makes it easier to take the hits when people don't like you. So with your books, hey, if you touch 10 people, that's better than doing nothing with your life. And people do it on a big scale now. So I'm really happy with it.
Absolutely, man.
Sorry, my whole house died. Like everything around me just went out, and I was like, "What the hell do I do?"
I was like, "He's over this interview already."
Fuck this. Chris offended me too. I'm out.
Did I talk that much?
No, you've been fantastic. What's the rock scene like out in like LA and stuff? Is it still kicking out there, or is it
horrible? Why do you think I'm working with everybody from Europe? If it were up to me, I would get a band together with me singing. Go destroy the Sunset Strip, who only you guys do is play covers over and over and over. Okay, so I'm helping like a band of younger guys and stuff like that right now with some songs. They're great cats. That I'll get involved with, but I go down there a lot, and it's just the same garbage. So it's horrible, bro. I would have my own band doing it and then do the writing. There's no A&R guys coming. Like I almost got signed with Sony. My story was Sony almost picked me up when I was 20 with John Kolodner's A&R.
Okay.
So we had Portrait Records. They released Great White. They released Rat. They released a band called Union Underground, Mars Electric, and my band Shattered was going to be the other. And it crumbled. So back then, and then I quit the music business. I took my kids and went out of state. I won't get into the reasons why, but during that period, I came back thinking the scene was still intact, and illegal downloading, like the guys I knew that worked at Sony, I'm still friends with them. One is John Weekland. He's on my Facebook. He was one of the hot shots at Columbia. He lives back in Ohio. And the other was a guy named Rod Kukla. He was Kolodner's guy. He's up in San Diego. He works at a label now in Europe. But the point is, they're not coming to the shows, these A&R reps, to see any new artists. So I made a decision to go, okay, well, how do I keep it going? So I reached out to more of the successful European artists, Japan, labels, Frontiers. And, my goal was to come home. I left California and said to myself, if it's meant to be in the cards, it will be meant to be in the cards. And what happened is I heard an album called Starbreaker with Tony Harnell.
Tony Harnell's record, yeah.
That debut album changed my life. I said, wow, he's mixing progressive, hair metal today all together. And I want to work with Frontiers. I got signed with Scarlet first, but it developed into me working with Frontiers. It was just in the cards. But that album the producer was Fabrizio Grossi, who produced the first Face Edge albums and got me signed. So, there's us guys here, but not many. If I knew more writers, I would work with them. So I'm just going to take it and save rock and roll on my own.
Nice.
If y'all don't want to rock, I'm ready.
That's right. Well, and you know what, man, you bring up such a good point. The European market still respects the art. That's why even newer bands like in like the power metal scene are big over there. We'll play 7, 8, 9 o'clock at Wacken Festival. They'll play in front of 100,000 people, but here they'll play in front of 200 people. It's absolutely sad. But I think it's because, like you said, there's no A&R here. A&R here now means going to somebody's Instagram and seeing how many hundreds of thousands of fans they have. And if they have the right number, then they'll make them a deal that is completely against the band and completely for the label. Here, we'll give you 10 grand. that has to cover recording, 4 videos, and
Why does he know all this again?
Dude, I'm entrenched in this stuff. I definitely am involved in the business, but it's sad because the fact that there's no A&R, the fact that there's no development, we've lost. I say this all the time. We've lost so many bands because they didn't get the 4 albums like Journey did to find their footing.
Chance or Queensryche.
Or Chicago, or I'm talking pick the biggest bands in the world. All of them had some kind of mediocre couple of albums. U2. First 2 U2 records didn't really sell. It wasn't until the Sunday Bloody Sunday video that everybody all of a sudden went back and checked out Boy and those records.
Kiss, man.
Kiss, yeah. Kiss had, I mean.
We gave a shit.
Yeah.
And then 4 albums later,
Yeah. And I think, and I don't know this to be true, but from being in the industry, it's when I saw it firsthand. I think it changed around the time that Linkin Park came around. Right. Because Linkin Park exploded fast, super fast. And I think that record went diamond. It sold like 10 million. Wow. So then the labels all thought, well, why are we spending all this money and years developing when we can put stuff together that sounds like this? And then if you go all across the different genres, I don't even want to point to only metal, but if you go to boy bands, all of those bands were piecemealed together based on a look and based on if you could tell in 1997, if you could tell the difference between Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, and NSYNC, I would have given you $100 because they all sounded the same, and they all looked the same. And it was the same on all genres. Look at how they piecemealed Hanson together. They just found 3 kids that sounded okay. They had somebody write them a bunch of songs. Boom.
Here's according to Giancarlo Floridia's with the music industry.
Sure.
Okay? I remember being 12 years old in 1992, living in Torrance. I would go into Pizza Hut every week when it was nice. Remember when it was like
right.
Good. And they had at the back of the Pizza Hut, they would have MTV every they play it. I remember walking in there and I saw it was like 92, somewhere around there. And they had Firehouse, When I Look Into Your Eyes. It was blowing up. And then all of a sudden, Nirvana was on next.
Right.
Whatever. It was something like one of the Firehouse songs, and then Nirvana came on. I remember within a year, it was over. Like, you liked any of the bands, even Motley. If I wore a Motley or a Kiss shirt to school, which I did, fuck grunge. That's one thing you will not get from Giancarlo Floridia, a grunge album. Hallelujah. Here's what I saw as a kid. These guys were making millions of dollars. They were rock stars. They had charisma I'm going to stare at I didn't know what depression was. I was an 80s kid. I was like, let's party. My dad drove a Ferrari. He thought he was a rock star. My mom was wild and crazy. I loved it. And then all of a sudden, I hate myself. I'm like, what is depression? I would ask people. And it was like, I remember we moved out of Torrance in 92. The energy to this horrible city I still hate. Everything shifted in my life, like depression and things I didn't know existed. So I think Nirvana was a start. I don't care if people fuck you if you don't like what I say, because you don't buy my albums anyways if you don't like what I'm doing. Nirvana was the beginning of the end. No more guitar solos. No more being a rock star. No more arena rock shows. It was like staring at the floor. I hated it. I hated grunge. I would wear all these 80s metal shirts to school. That started it, and illegal downloading killed it because, it's like owning a restaurant. We're going to relate it to an Italian restaurant. Say I'm in the back cooking all day, right? I'm
right.
Pasta, and then I bring it out, and people go, thank you, see ya, and they take out. What's going to happen to your business? If everybody,
done.
It's going to go under. That's kind of what happened in the music, where the labels don't have as much money because people they want to either get it for free. I remember with Face Edge, my son's friends are like, oh, we got all your albums. I'm like, oh, cool. We took it from this website. I'm like,
thanks.
Right, thank you.
The industry and the failure, the government doesn't got any time to deal with this bullshit with fucking us. They got wars and fucking whatever to deal with. So us allowing, like, everybody hated Lars at the time. What a dick, what a douchebag. It was right. If they would have up to it, you would have had a new Guns N' Roses. You would have had a new Metallica. You would have had it. When's been the last band like that? Even with Face Edge, if I would have had more money to put behind us, I think we would have broke harder. So I just said, fuck it. The labels are signing all the old school guys because they have guaranteed sales. Michael Sweet's going to sell. George Lynch, a new Lynch Mob, is a guaranteed sale. So I'll just be involved with that. I face reality as a new artist, guys. It's just, I would love to go out in LA and wipe out Sunset Strip and show them who's in charge. But there's just no, show all those glam guys that you can mohawk your hair and beat you into the ground Italian style. No, it's just, there's not that market because they don't have the money. Money revolved and I think motivated the bands to write better songs. Hey, if you're going to get a check for $1 million, you're going to write a goddamn good song, right? Yeah. Or now it's like, I won't name names, but sometimes I feel when I work with artists, it's kind of like, why am I doing this still? I can just go out and play the old hits and get paid more. Yeah. So, but I feel that grunge started the change and then illegal downloading destroyed it. That's my opinion. I'm not all knowing, but that's Carlo's version of it.
So we got to wrap it up, unfortunately, but I want to ask you, except for Chris, where can people find Faith's Edge music if they want to listen to it? Because Chris obviously is not
going to go back, and he's gonna have a revelation. Hallelujah! He's gonna say Giancarlo's my favorite singer. Just Google Face Edge. I mean, the cool thing about the Face Edge name was it was the only one. It was, I got the name from Queensryche, and my daughter's name is Faith S Edge. And there's I can't say it now, but there's a band a project I'm working on that's going to have a similar name coming out that I worked with somebody from the 80s. Anyways, so just Google Face Edge. Walmart carries my discography. Amazon, Target has some of the stuff. So I did build something with it.
Cool.
That's awesome. Well, you got to keep in touch with us, and especially me. Maybe not Chris, but I'm a fan.
Chris and I are fun. You know, shit. I wasn't like planning with a bat to beat him at NAMM, get behind him, biting his ear off.
Well, we appreciate coming on, man. That was awesome.
I appreciate you having me. Let's do. You know, Chris and I actually will probably do some more stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And man, I got to be more prepared though because. Chris he's a very, I knew you were very involved and you guys do well, but Chris knows
he knows his shit.
Behind the scenes stuff that I'm like,
I know more than I'm supposed to, man.
You do, dude.
Well, dude, a lot of the people that you mentioned, I've worked with professionally. And you don't know this, but I sequenced 2 of Dokken's records.
What?
I sequenced them. You know, Dokken.
I don't know who that is. I know who George Lynch is. And
well,
the other dude, I don't know, man.
I know George. I've known George for a bunch of years. If you tell George my name, he'll tell you that he knows me.
Awesome.
I know George. I know Michael Sweet. I know everybody at Frontiers. I've sat in many a meeting with the creative team, and
don't get me in trouble, bro.
No.
I deal with Alessandro, Serafino, and Mario, and Elio, all those guys.
They're all great.
With them, the guy Enzo, because thank God I don't speak Italian. My parents. I deal with Ali directly. I know Serafino's on my Facebook. Hi, Serafino. I love you. I see him kind of looking. Anyways, we'll leave it alone. But I don't talk to them. I deal directly with El Vecchio.
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, we will do this again, man, because this is a lot of fun.
Thank you, brother.
You guys have a great one. Thanks for having me on.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Bye. Giancarlo Floridia. Nice guy, man. Cool.
He's great.
Good stuff.
Great. That was a good interview.
Yeah, I could sit and talk to him for the rest of the show, but
I'm going to send him my books and see if he wants to write a song about my damn books.
Yeah, I want to hear some of the stuff he's writing. I want to hear some of the new shit. So,
all right, well, we could do that too.
Got to make sure we get some of that. We got Tony Musachio coming up.
Okay.
It's a non-stop Italian show today.
That's right.
All right. Hang on. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hang on.
What separates Triv's restaurant in Strongsville from everybody else? Some restaurants you go to eat the same thing over and over and over. But then there are restaurants like Triv's where you want to go there every single time and eat something different until you have eaten every single item on the menu. Why? Because the food's delicious and it has been for almost a quarter of a century. Triv's has amazing food, outstanding service, and an opportunity for you to have private dining, special events, and intimate occasions. You can enjoy a memorable fine dining experience in your own dedicated, intimate space. Visit Trivs in the heart of Strongsville. Call now for reservations, 440-238-8830. Trivs in Strongsville. Joe Burdick custom flags are amazing. Each flag is handcrafted to reflect the imperfect perfection, making each piece of patriotic wall art unique. This is a local small business, veteran-owned and proud. Joe Burdick creates symbolic artwork that is built to last. Display your spirit, pride, and patriotism by calling 440-305-2065 and let Joe's flag serve you. 440-305-2065. Joe Burdick Flags. Let me introduce you to Charlie's Auto Repair. Any car, any truck, any problem, Charlie's does it right. You know how it is. The check your engine light comes on, you put air in the tires, and the light is still on. 216-470-0170. That's Charlie's Auto Repair, 13728 Madison in Lakewood. Charlie can do it all, from small engine repair to fleet maintenance and system diagnostics. 216-470-0170. Charlie's Auto Repair. Let Charlie make your car great once again.
I want to thank Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood for having Giancarlo Floridia on today.
Yes,
Charlie's Auto Repair Hotline. So thank you, Charlie's Auto Repair in Lakewood. And back to the hotline, we go to... We're spinning the wheel here. See if it works. Tony Musachio.
Seth, Chris, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Can you hear me? I think I have a good internet on this patio.
You sound good. Where are you at?
We are at Cooper's Hawk. I am located off of Harvard Road, off of 271, across from Pinecrest, which we've been at Pinstripes before. We've been at Condado. This place is really cool. They have over 54 locations across the country, and they started in the basement in 2005. The guy started making wine like most Italians did, just like in Little Italy, like my dad did in the 1930s. And here he established a restaurant that has over, listen to this, 800,000 members at $20 a month. Do the math, as Triv used to say.
Wow. Well, the salad looks really good.
So let me describe this. What that consists of is a membership. It's a $20 a month membership, and you can go pick out a bottle of wine, whether it be white, whether it be red, whether it be a Bordeaux. So once a month, they email you and say that your wine is ready. It comes off of your MasterCard or your Visa. And, of course, you can grab the bottle of wine, take it home, or you can have the bottle of wine right here for dinner, which is real cool.
Nice.
Very good. This I have in front of me is a chicken wrapped, salmon on rice, drunken shrimp. I've had a few, as you can see. I've had a few drinks also, as you will see and hear me. And, of course, Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. They just don't love me.
I've never had one. I have to say, I've never had a Brussels sprout ever.
You've never had, and look at this. The food just keeps on coming. Welcome to Tony.
Wow.
This is like their little, it's actually just a feta cheese salad. This is just their standard dinner salad. Is this crazy?
Wow.
Look at the size of this salad.
Yeah, it's huge.
So I'm going to have you say hello to a couple people here. So whenever I come to a restaurant, of course, Breezy.
Nice.
She's a bartender and friend. She's at Pinstripes. So again, no matter where I go, I always find friends. And of course, I introduced myself. Everybody's a stranger until they meet me, right?
That's right.
So, guys, this is really a cool place. As I said, what's neat about it is they have the outdoor patio here, which they've opened up. And of course, the thing about the patio right now, and I talked to the guys at Flower, which we were there a couple months ago. The unfortunate part about eating outdoors is there's not enough space, and everyone wants to eat outside.
Wow.
Cool
That looks really nice, though. Yeah, it's a nice patio.
So, Seth, you've never had Brussels sprouts before.
I have never had a Brussels sprout. What does it taste like?
So it's like a little bitter. It's kind of like a cauliflower, but green. You know what? I got to make them for you.
I've never had cauliflower either, so.
You've never had cauliflower.
What?
I've never had cauliflower.
Can I say the F word on here?
Yes, absolutely.
Who the fuck are you? What the hell?
Actually, of everything you have on that table, I've had the shrimp. That's all I've ever had.
Come on.
I've
never tried feta cheese. I've never tried.
I said the F word and everybody turned around. They don't know who I am. Now they do. Sorry, guy. He's offended. I'm sorry.
I've never had salmon. I've never had feta cheese. I've never had the dark lettuce. I always eat iceberg. I've had shrimp. Everything that's on the table, I haven't tried except for shrimp. I've had that.
What do you do? Eat out of a vending machine?
Yeah, exactly.
I have one in my living room.
You've had salmon though, right?
No, never had salmon.
You've never had salmon.
I've never had fish that wasn't breaded.
Like McDonald's fish?
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Or Gordon's Fisherman.
Wait a minute. Tony's showing some legitimate food, and you're talking about a fillet of fish at McDonald's.
Because I've never tried that. I've never even tried that. Are those cherry tomatoes? I've never had one of those.
Yeah. Those are cherry tomatoes.
I've never had a cherry tomato.
And green beans.
All right, I've had a green bean.
Okay. What haven't you had? What have you had?
Yeah, well,
you've never had. Wait, you just had a tomato up until recently, right?
Right, and then like a pineapple, I didn't try until Triv made me try one.
Okay.
So I don't know what else is on there. It looks like rice. I've had rice.
Okay. So literally your entire life you've eaten fast food, and I've been eating gourmet food for the last 10 years on the air, thanks to Trevisano.
Well, for the record, though, I did have a heart scan when I had my leg taken off, and it was okay. So.
Correct. So let me ask you a question. When I took you to Cow and Hubbard, and that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember. That was a wonderful restaurant.
It was.
So by the way, we go to Cow and Hubbard, and it's a very nice restaurant. Zach Brule used to own it. It was on 13th and Euclid. Fine dining. Triv comes in, and again, it's Triv with a flowered Hawaiian shirt and a pair of sweats with the zipper on them that his wife sewn on them.
Yeah. It was fantastic. We were all sitting together. It was myself, my wife, Tony was there, little John was there with his wife.
Yeah, it was fun. Yes.
And Triv. And I remember walking outside, and Triv just walks right. I asked him, I said, should I wear a tie or anything? He said, no. And so Triv shows up in sweatpants. We go outside to smoke a cigarette. A homeless guy comes up to him with a shopping cart and says, Triv, man, I listen all the time. I'm like, a homeless guy? You don't even have a radio. How do you listen to Triv? But he listened to him.
True
but it was
story.
a hell of a meal. It was a great meal.
Yeah. So Triv orders a steak. I'll never forget this. And they were known for their steaks. It was actually like an Asian fusion restaurant.
Yeah.
Because most of Zach Brule's restaurants were. So they had like sushi and steak and pasta and different seafoods and pork chops. He ordered a steak, and I'll never forget this. He told the server, he said, I ordered a steak, not the cow. It was a 24-ounce steak that laid over the entire plate. And we were cutting it, Chris. It was hysterical. So anyways, fast forward, and that was one of my window cleaning customers, which we've done a lot of window cleaning for all these restaurants. Unfortunately, the pandemic occurred, and I lost a lot of them. But we'd still do a lot of barter with them. The bill was $600. Wasn't that crazy? Wow. But it was all on a card. Welcome to fine dining, because $100 is nothing anymore when you go out to eat.
That is true, man.
True.
And that's at McDonald's.
Yeah, and that's at McDonald's. Good point. You're right. You know, what's a Happy Meal now? It's not. It's unhappy by the time.
Yeah, it's very unhappy by the time.
Yeah. So Seth, you know what? I gotta heighten your horizons here, as they say, and we gotta go out to eat, and you gotta try like this. I have a table full of food in front of me. No matter where we go, we gotta figure this out, and you're just gonna pick on a few things that you are gonna love because you don't know it until you try it.
That's true, because I mean, it looks really good on the plate, but when I have it in front of me, I get a little nervous.
Yes. Well, guess what? You got to taste it. It was like you were a kid. You remember? And Mom put something in front of you.
Yeah, he didn't eat it, Tony.
He
didn't try it at all.
I didn't have it.
And Seth, I'm 159 pounds soaking wet naked with the rock in my hand, and I talk about food twice a week. And look at you. I don't know how you got as big as you did.
I know.
Too funny.
Well, that place looks amazing, man. It looks like
So again, it's Cooper's Hawk. They are located on Harvard, off of 271, right across the street, caddy corner from Whole Foods. Pinecrest is right across Harvard Avenue, and again, there's a lot of restaurants in this area, which we will be talking about real soon throughout that whole Pinstripes area. Because guess what? For the next 9 to 10 to 12 weeks, I'm going to be on a patio.
That's awesome.
Let me leave you with this. I just read this on the internet, so it has to be true. This guy got rewarded over $800,000 for a surgery that went bad. They removed his wrong testicle. So he got a check for $800,000, received this huge check, and he had a ball. Tony Musachio reporting live at Cooper's Hawk. Everybody knows Tony.
Where can people hear you on Saturdays?
You can hear me every Saturday morning on Flashpoint 1490 WERE between 10 o'clock and 11. So this July, I will be on the air for 8 years. Thanks to Mike Trevisano. I was on his show for a year and a half. Ed Flash Ferentz heard me and met him at a Christmas party at Corleone's, which I've told the story many times. And now in July, I'll be on the air for 8 years, guys. Wow. 350 restaurants I have visited throughout Northeastern Ohio. So again, everybody knows Tony because I've been to all these places.
Well, you have a great camera operator today. Fantastic stuff.
Perfect, yes.
I appreciate everything, Tony.
Guys, I will see you next week. Hey, one more thing. You guys were talking about rock and roll. I don't know if you read this or not. About Tom Petty. He had all of these clothes that were stolen, and they were going to be auctioned off. The family is suing the auctioneer because they're his clothes, and
they're stolen clothes. I did.
They
see
were stolen.
That.
Did you read that, Chris?
I
Isn't
did.
That crazy? Yeah. So now they're going to create a new song, "New Trousers to Paradise." See you guys.
Thanks, Owen.
I'll see you. Talk to you. Bye.
See you, Tony.
Oh, man.
Boy, I can't believe you haven't eaten anything.
You don't know. I mean, I'm very limited over the past bunch of years in the food that I would eat.
That's what I'm saying. You probably ate out of the vending machine.
Because
give me a pack of cookies.
Well, again, for the past 24 years of my life, it's just been very routine of
sure.
What time I go to bed, what time I get up. Everything's routine, and eating even became routine.
Sure.
And so, it would be the same 3 or 4 restaurants, the same food that I would get there all the time. I would never even try new stuff on the menus that the places I would go to. It'd be the same meal because I knew that I liked it, and that's what I would go with. And
that's
I'm
crazy.
Not a whole lot different still. Like I love Subway.
Okay.
And they have so many options of different things there. Different subs. I get the same one. I haven't gotten a different sub in the year that I've been out of the hospital. And I've gone to Subway so many times. In the year that I've been out of the hospital, I've not gotten a different sub other than the oven roasted turkey.
Jeez, oh man. Are you kidding? I can't even go to the same restaurant and order the same food twice.
Oh man.
It's fast food. Even fast food. Like I don't have like a favorite fast food. Like if I went to even like McDonald's, I might get a quarter pounder one day and a Big Mac the next time and a chicken sandwich the next time.
No, it's all whatever I like is what I get, and it never changes. That's
Wow.
It's very,
I don't know. I was always adventurous, especially when I was in the military, especially when I got to Korea, and then I was bodyguarding for this general that was retiring, and we went all over the world. I mean, we were constantly traveling places. Wherever we went, that's what I was eating. Whatever they, and it used to drive me crazy because I would, like, even in Korea, they had like a big Burger King that was there. And we'd be out partying at night. And then all my friends at like 2 a.m. would be like, let's go to Burger King. And I was like, that is the last place I'm going. Let's go over here and get some kegogi or bulgogi or some ramen, some specialized something different.
Gunner's right. I am a creature of habit.
I guess so.
Like Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
I love Chinese food. Love it.
Yeah.
But, and you're going to say that I'm lying, but I'm not. Honest to God truth. Whatever I get, usually it's chicken and mushrooms because that's really the only thing that I thoroughly enjoy there. I mean, I used to like the General Tso's, whatever.
General Chow's chicken.
Fried, whatever it is. But, so it's chicken and mushrooms. But any Chinese food that I order is without vegetables. So all the extra bullshit that they put in there, all the pea pods and string this and carrots and all that crap, I say no vegetables. And so it's sometimes difficult to communicate to the owners or the people that pick up the phone at the Chinese restaurants that I want no vegetables.
Extra
chicken and
vegetable,
mushrooms.
got it.
Yeah, chicken and mushrooms, that's it. Yeah. Just the chicken, just the mushrooms.
Yeah. Wow.
And then if I get it, because half the time they don't understand a damn thing I'm saying. And so I get it home and they messed it up. So then, as you know, I talked about it the other day, I watched Judge Judy while I eat. I can't.
Right.
I have that paused because now I have to get a fork and pick out every vegetable that's in the thing. I won't even attempt it. I mean, there are certain vegetables I'll eat. Corn I like. I've had green beans in the past. But yeah, I will literally sit there and pick through the entire thing of Chinese food to get the vegetables out and push them off to the side before I'll eat my meal.
That is hilarious. Why did you want to grill?
Well, because I like chicken. I can cook chicken on the grill.
So you're only going to cook chicken?
Well, I haven't had burgers in years, but I'm going to try to. I'll maybe make a burger or two on the grill, maybe something. But you eat the hot peppers.
Oh yeah, absolutely, kimchi.
And I'm here sowing seeds.
Yeah, I tried everything over there. I didn't care. I was, funny. I'll tell you a funny story. So we used to go up. The town that we used to party in, it was right off the base called Itaewon. And exactly where we would party was this little strip. It was maybe a half mile long at the most. It was up a hill, and it had a 4-way cross in the middle of it. And it was called Hooker Hill for obvious reasons.
Nice.
And
that I've tried.
That I've tried. Oh, my God. My God, if I could have that much money back, I'd be retired. All the hookers I was banging. That's for sure. But one of the things that you would do when you walked up Hooker Hill, like, it was nothing but clubs all the way up and little kind of grills that were like outdoor, almost hibachi like, almost, but it was just kind of, you'd sit and there'd be like 2 stools and you'd order whatever they would order. So we used to go, me and my ex, we used to go all the time, and there was one that just had these great, it was meat on a stick, and it was called monkey meat. And you would order, you'd give me 2 sticks of monkey meat, and you'd order the monkey meat. So at some point, my ex says to me after dating for 2 or 3 months, she's like, "What is this monkey meat? What is this? Is it like beef or what?" I was like, "No, it's monkey." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's monkey." And it was. But I was always, I knew. I was willing. I didn't care.
Did it taste good?
It was great.
Huh.
Dude, I tried all that. That's kegogi was dog. I ate that.
Oh, God.
I ate that like it was going out of style.
Wow.
You had to know the right places to go, because if you ordered it in the wrong place, they would get offended because they were trying to be more modern, and they just knew that the non-third world countries did not serve dog. But yeah, there was a lot of times I would be into the restaurant. I'd be like, Keigogi hana juseo adashi, 1 keigogi right here. And they'd bring it over and they would just smile because I was like the one American that would do it. Nobody else was but I'm adventurous like that. Whatever country I was in, I tried their food.
Yeah,
Always.
You can look up on YouTube, like Seth WTM eats pineapple or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's an actual video of me trying a pineapple for the first time. I was sitting next to Triv.
Right.
And it was at one of the Coach for Kids events. And, I tried it, and there's a video, though, of me eating this thing. And I was terrified. And it was an experience. But there's a lot of stuff like that. I never tried an actual tomato. And Triv always gave me shit because I eat ketchup, I eat spaghetti sauce.
Sure.
But I don't eat chunky spaghetti sauce. Like if I see a chunk of tomato in a spaghetti sauce, I push it off to the side.
Okay.
And so there's just things like that I won't eat. I won't eat lettuce that looks like leaves. Like if it's that dark green stuff, I'm not going to eat it.
Why? Have you tried it and don't like it, or you're afraid
I've never tried it. I don't eat stuff that came off of the ground of a forest. That's not what I want to eat.
Do you eat lettuce?
Iceberg only.
Where does that come from? A tree?
Well, it's better than like Triv always used to say, like they pee on the lettuce when they're picking it from the fields or whatever. I said, but I unwrapped the outer layers of the lettuce of the iceberg. No onions or peppers. I'll be honest. I had, for the first time, maybe just before I went to the hospital, actually, before I got sick, I started to actually like the McDonald's diced onions that were on top of the cheeseburgers. But other than that, I've never had grilled onions, and I've never had like a red onion. No. Peppers, again, always push them off to the side. I get an Italian sausage, peppers off to the side.
Hot sauce?
Like salsa?
No, like hot sauce.
Hot sauce, I don't mind. I don't eat a lot of salsa. Like if I go to a Mexican restaurant and I have like a chip and they give you the free salsa on the side, I smash the chip down so I get the juice from the salsa, but I'm not eating the innards of the salsa, like the chunks of tomatoes and whatever else is. I don't even know what's in a salsa.
Yeah, it's just tomatoes and different,
No, I'll literally put the chip down so the juice from the salsa goes onto the chip, but make sure that there's no chunks of anything that's actually on it.
Dude, I'm gonna take you to dinner just because every time I go, it won't cost me nothing.
No, man, I'm a cheap date.
I was gonna say, everybody else it cost me $30 to $50 a plate. You would be like $8. So $8 for a children's burger or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something.
Like I always used to get shit because I would tell people I had a salad for dinner last night, and because my wife and I would make salads at home, and so what consists of a salad for me. Is iceberg lettuce, usually like a grilled chicken.
Okay.
Or any kind of chicken, really. Fried chicken, grilled chicken, whatever. Half a bag of like shredded cheese, bacon bits, croutons, and like ranch dressing all over the place.
So the world's most unhealthy salad
it's
ever.
The worst salad that you could possibly make for yourself. And then I would try to say, well, at least I used light ranch dressing. But it was like the entire bottle of it. So there was no nutritional value to the salad that I would make. They had a little restaurant at the bottom of the building at the radio station.
Yeah.
And it was a little cafe that all the floors could go to, whatever. But they had a salad buffet, like a salad bar. And I would every day go down there. And I would get that. I would get iceberg lettuce. And you would see me, my dumb ass, sitting at the lettuce, whatever it's called, lettuce tray.
Right.
Picking out all the dark lettuce with the tongs, pushing it off to the side.
Oh my God.
So I could only get the iceberg lettuce. And then it would be cheese. I'd be pissed if they didn't have the bacon. And then usually maybe they had chicken slices I could put on there. And then I'd walk away with 3 packets of the ranch dressing. And that would be it.
I'm guessing breakfast, you only eat like cereal or something because there's nowhere you eating eggs that could potentially not be cooked the way you want them.
No, eggs I'll eat over easy or sunny side up. I've never had scrambled eggs. No. I've never had
So if somebody screws it up and scrambles it just because they screw up
I won't eat it.
You just are like, no, I can't eat that?
Will not eat scrambled eggs. They don't look or smell right to me.
Will you ever make like an egg sandwich?
No, as long as it's got if it's got like a sunny side up egg or something like that with the yolk runny. But like I've never had like at McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that one of their breakfast sandwiches with an egg. In fact, I'll return the sandwich if it has an egg on it because I could just take it off, but then it has that smell of the egg on it. I'll take it back.
This is fascinating to me. You really don't eat anything.
I don't.
How did you get big? I mean, holy shit, I know why I'm big because I like everything. But how did you get big? What were you eating? Candy bars?
A lot of candy. It was probably a lot of candy.
Because you do eat a lot of candy at the radio stations.
Yeah. I have not had a candy bar, though, for over a year now. I have not.
And you don't miss it a little, do you?
To be honest, no, I don't. I go into gas stations and I walk by the candy section and I don't really... Like last night, my daughter had some like Reese's thin peanut butter cups or whatever, and she asked if I wanted one. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it'd probably wreck your stomach now after going a year without that garbage.
Let's see here. I do not eat mushy tomatoes and cooked or now peppers or onions unless onions are grilled and buttered. No broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms. I eat mushrooms. That I do like. I like mushrooms like on a pizza or something like that or a burger. I like that. Broccoli, I've never tried. Never tried broccoli.
All right. You're going to have me over once you get that grill going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring a bunch of shit that I know you haven't eaten. and we're going to have some of it.
What are you, 8,
like
Seth?
Asparagus and stuff like that.
I talk to my wife all the time. I've never tried asparagus.
Dude. Yeah, you barely tried lettuce. I certainly don't think you've tried asparagus.
Gunner, you're not far off. I mean, I was just talking to my wife about that the other day. I said, I apologize to her because I think somewhere along the line of my development, my brain stopped. It might have been somewhere around like 16 because, I like girls and stuff like that. So I did reach puberty at some point, but I'm not sure I advanced much past that. Because my sense of humor, my everything that I do, I can be fairly irresponsible at times. And the food and stuff, it's just, I don't like going to doctors. So, I think brain development stopped somewhere in my mid to late teens.
That's hilarious. I just can't get over that you don't eat anything.
Well, I mean, like anything. I mean, I eat a lot of stuff, but it's just not...
Most people buy a cookbook. You buy a cook page.
Like, I'm trying to think of fruits. I just tried a strawberry a few years back for the first time. Never had a strawberry before. Now I really like strawberries.
How old are you? 40 what?
46.
How do you go 45 years without eating a strawberry?
They didn't look appetizing to me, but now I really like strawberries.
Did you like strawberry ice cream as a kid?
No.
Never tried it.
No, back in the day when they had like the Neapolitan, I would leave a little bit of the sliver of chocolate that was next to the strawberry because I didn't want to touch the strawberry.
But you never even tasted it.
But
how do you make that decision?
If it wasn't chocolate or vanilla,
But how did you make that decision?
See, because for me, I assumed that even though it was ice cream, that strawberry meant healthy, and I was like, I don't really think that's good for me.
All right, what about sherbet?
I like orange sherbet.
All right, but no rainbow.
No. Come on, man. I'm like the biggest Superman fan that you could possibly find. My leg is now Superman leg.
Right.
I have a tattoo of Superman on my arm. I have Superman stuff all over my office. I tried Superman ice cream or whatever it is one time, and I almost threw up. Last time I ever tried it was multicolored again. Forget it.
Oh, my God. How about like...
Blueberries. I've never had a blueberry.
Raspberries?
No. I've had raspberry flavored stuff, but never an actual raspberry.
How about like a blueberry Pop-Tart?
No. I never really had Pop-Tarts. Never.
Not even out of the vending machine.
I had a chocolate Pop-Tart, and I decided Pop-Tarts were not my thing.
Yeah, those aren't.
I'm trying to think of the other berries I have not tried. I've never tried like a kiwi. I've had a banana.
Yeah, I'll join you in the banana crew. I have not had a banana since I was like 5.
Now I'm not really supposed to eat bananas. There's too much potassium for me, so I don't really eat bananas.
I don't like them. They just taste gross.
But yeah, my list of stuff that I haven't done is fairly extensive.
I have exactly one thing that people are always surprised that when I say I've never had it, and that's peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Really?
I've never had one. And it just smells wrong to me.
See?
You know, much like you with the eggs.
Yeah.
And I love peanut butter and I love jelly. So I know put together, I probably, if I would taste it once, I would probably like it. But I don't know. I probably did try it once and threw up when I was like 2 or something. And it's just mentally in my head that I can't go back to it. But it's the only thing. I'll try anything else. If you put it in front of me and tell me it's food, I will eat it.
I'll eat jelly, but it's got to be like, it doesn't have like the chunks of fruit or something like that in it.
It's got to be a smooth jelly.
A smooth spread.
Like the
flavored.
kind that they serve at the hotels or whatever, that is slick. It's like Jell-O.
Yeah, a smooth jello-y spread of flavored whatever it is that they put on toast or a sandwich. I'll eat that.
What about Jell-O? Will you eat Jell-O?
I eat Jell-O, but yeah, I've had Jell-O.
Only a certain color though?
No, I'll eat Jell-O.
All right.
But
so you'll eat lime Jell-O, but you won't eat a lime.
Yeah, I've never had a lime or a lemon.
You never put a lime in like a beer?
No, or a lemon.
Never.
No.
I know where you were, man. Jesus.
Nope. I've had peaches, but I've only had canned peaches.
Oh, you never just eaten a...
I've never had an actual peach.
Eating a peach will either make you love them or hate them, because that little furry skin on them,
yeah,
it does irritate your mouth, like your teeth.
Julie Holiday, the girl that used to do the news, gave me some like orange slices.
Yeah.
And
the candy or real ones?
Real ones.
Okay.
And it was the first time I'd ever tried orange slices. Like I've had orange juice.
Okay.
With no pulp or anything like that, because I don't like that. But so she gave me some orange slices.
Okay.
And I didn't actually eat them. I just kind of sucked the juice out of them. And they tasted all right, but
will you eat apples?
No. Well, I've tried apples this past year because I was trying to get more into the fruit thing, and they were okay. But I've never had an apple pie.
Have you tried different colored apples, like a green one and a
dark
red, and then a Macintosh and all that?
I went to Patterson Fruit Farm out in like Chesterland or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Great place. Love that place. But I bought a big, huge 10-pound sack of apples.
Right.
Said, these are the best. And I was like, okay, I'm at an apple farm. I just started walking again. I was like, all right, I'm going to try some apples.
Okay.
And I got this sack of apples back to the house. I think I took a bite out of one, and then the rest of them sat in the fridge. Never to be seen again.
Right.
But pies. I don't eat pie. That sounded really bad. I don't eat like fruit
cooked
pies. Cooked pies. I know it sounds stupid because I like chocolate, but I've never had like a French silk pie.
God, you're missing out.
Because I don't like whipped cream. Never had whipped cream.
Oh my God.
I'll eat vanilla cream.
But not whipped cream.
Not whipped cream. I've never had like whipped cream on a sundae.
How are the two different?
Vanilla cream has more of a sugary, thicker consistency. Whipped cream to me, it doesn't look good to me. It does not look tasty.
Mm-hmm. Your eating habits are odd, my friend.
Yeah, a little bit weird. Artificial flavors. Sherbet, strawberries are good. Cut up sugar and water. No peanut butter, bananas. Good. My daughter likes to eat the strawberries with sugar. I don't eat that, but I have learned to actually cut up strawberries. I will.
All right.
Oh, sure it is. Dude, come on, man. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say here?
I'm just, I don't know this. I'm stunned.
Well, I don't think you should be stunned. I mean, it's
I
not
am
like
stunned. How do you? I mean, you don't eat anything.
like a pizza. If you ask me to get if you said, "What do you want in a pizza tonight?" It's gonna be sausage and maybe mushrooms. Other than that, you can't name something that I would put on a pizza other than sausage or mushrooms.
But if you were at a party and somebody had, I don't know, nothing but like an extreme, whatever they call that, with all the vegetables on it, you would just not eat.
Kind of pizza? No.
Yeah, you would just not eat.
I would not eat. Not gonna happen. Just not gonna.
Even when you were drinking.
Nope.
When you were partying hard, you would.
No.
'Cause, dude, you get me with a snout full of alcohol.
See, that's the other thing that I won't do because again, very very routine.
Yeah.
If I start to drink, I'm not eating anything. I cannot have a beer with a meal.
Wow.
Like if you put me at a party with a bunch of chicken wings and everything else, I'm going to eat the hell out of those chicken wings, and then I'll drink a beer. But I will not drink a beer while I'm eating something. I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't do that often. I'll tell you, that's another one. Here's another one that's probably weird for me because I do like to drink. I will not drink wine. Never.
Yeah, I'm not a wine drinker.
Never. I don't like it. I'm yet to find a flavor that I like.
Although I will say that I've done a lot of reading and a lot of researching as far as my condition now, whether it's kidney stuff or the diabetes and stuff. And it does say that wine isn't really that bad. It says that I can have a beer in like moderation, but wine can actually be good for you.
Yeah, but it's gross.
But I haven't tried any of that stuff yet. No. Monday, are we confirmed on that or no? Not
We're
yet.
not confirmed yet.
Okay.
So
I'm hoping that comes through.
Yeah, I have not gotten an email back saying that we are good, and I don't know his work schedule to say. But I think we probably we can tease it. We will probably be talking about the mob on Monday.
Yeah.
How's that?
That would be really fun. So
yeah,
I'm gonna look into that and see what we can do with that. I think it's gonna be a good show if we can get that done.
Yep.
I appreciate what's the guy name? Giancarlo. Man, Giancarlo Floridia coming on tonight. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I'm gonna post that interview. That'll be up sometime tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
Yeah, he was fun.
He was good.
He actually texted me during this. He's like, we got to do that again. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to check out Faith's Edge just because I want to see if it's as bad as
you might like it. You might like it. Look, he hits that one button for me that I don't love vocally. And it's funny because he was naming other guys that I don't love vocally, like Michael Sweet. And I know Michael and I'm friends with Michael, but the next time I pull out a Striper album to listen to from start to finish will be the first time.
We got to see if we can get George Lynch on him.
We could get George Lynch on that. That's not even hard. He just, the problem with George is more he's
never in the country.
Well, no, he's in the country, but sometimes he's way in the country, like he's way in the desert somewhere.
Yeah.
Like he does. You want to talk about Tony's internet problems? George, I've got a couple interviews with me posted up there with George where it's just kind of really spotty. So,
where can people find all your stuff?
They can go to chrisakin.net or they can go to cmspn.com. Most of my stuff is there, or just look up my name on Rumble or YouTube or BitChute or Odyssey or wherever. I'm everywhere.
I've actually started posting stuff on all these different sites too, like
absolutely
the BitChutes and the Odysseys and the Truth Social.
Yeah.
So check out the Seth Williams Show on all these different sites.
That's right.
Rumble,
all
of them, and of course the cmspn.com, the network.
That's right.
You can check out the show there too.
Yeah, this show's there too. So all good.
So, all right, man. Well, thank you for tonight. Appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. And thank you, everybody, listening tonight. And be here Monday. We'll have another fun show planned.
That's right.
Thank you again.
See you then.
Have a great night, everybody. See you.
Peace.